Plague Ward, so they've got Poison Sting as well. He's a great staller, so you can stop the towers from going down, but you can also get so much vision with this guy.
Yeah, he's a real pain for Blink Dagger heroes to play against, especially like the Earthshaker. You've got
because you just check every single corner. Like the range of throwing at the Plague Ward is also so high. Even the deboarding, you get a gem on this guy. There's no hill which he can't check.
Yeah, and this is old school stuff a little bit as well. The Jug Veno sort of kill lane. Yep. I know that
with the Rubik, like it's a Rubik telekinesis into spin, and then you Venomancer Gal. You can't run. Yeah. You literally cannot run from this.
Yeah, I don't know if All Boys can fight NewBee Young at level 1 at all. They actually have a very, very scary level 1 lineup here. Put an Iron Shell on the Jug, or you can even surge the Rubik in to get that lift.
Yeah, I just want to see the Surge Venomancer to make sure you get the Nova on everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it does depend somewhat.
Just like grease him up. He's like a slip and slide.
Yeah, that's a great mental image, actually. Darkseer's like, up, go.
All Boys actually ban out the Enigma, so maybe they're considering this Venomancer as a core. Unless you're there.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was about to talk about. Is it going to be sort of your 3-position offlane Venomancer, sort of old school Ice style? Just be
you could run the Veno in the mid,
or it could be a mid hero as well. We haven't seen that for a little while, but
the Venomancer mid is actually quite powerful, as long as the physical damage from the other mid isn't strong. Because it's the Plague Wards which give you the advantages as the Venomancer. If you can get an early level 5, the 3 levels up in Plague Wards, most heroes can't deal with physical damage. Like, it's not like the Familiars where it takes a certain amount of hits to get rid of it. It's actually like life points. And a Wind Ranger, well, this is still insanely hard to read. The Wind Ranger is probably going to be mid.
Yeah, I think it's core Wind Rangers. That probably just leaves us with a support Venomancer.
But they got a lot of flexibility. Yeah. They could still run the Wind Ranger as... Yeah, they can run the Wind Ranger as a support or as a core.
They could do some wacky stuff with their lanes. They've got a couple of they've got 3 very good 1v1 heroes in the Darkseer, the Venomancer, and the Wind Ranger. So they can put those anywhere to try and find really good matchups, and the other heroes can still kind of cobble together a tri-lane from that point. So
I'm interested to see how All Boys go, because okay, the Storm Spirit's wonderful. I actually really love the Storm Spirit with the last pickup, but I am very, very concerned about the control factors coming out.
They're crazy squishy
from the Wind Ranger. Yeah, that's
crazy.
That's it. Like you throw one Nova out, and if it hits the Zeus, Disruptor, Leshrac, and Earthshaker, they're all dead.
Yeah, if you get shackled, I think you're dead. I think anyone who gets shackled this game
the shackle is what's going to kill the Storm.
Yeah.
Like, if he actually gets legitimately shackled, and Wind Ranger you want to run as a core, so then you can build into an early Orchid, and then control up the Storm Spirit. That's where I would probably go with this draft. Let the Venomancer, Juggernaut, and Rubik kill and push towers. Let the Darkseer farm. Because who's really going to stop you? Like, if this is an Earthshaker meant to be like a core offlaner, then the Darkseer just sits in the safe lane.
Prepare for battle. "30 seconds to battle." The battle begins.
Stupendous! destroyed. First blood. Purge the elements now.
I only wanted to kill everyone.
Feeling under the weather? Too slow. Impugned.
Hit the bottom rune.
Juggernaut!
Sorry, I come back and again, Windrage just dropped a bow on the ground. It's like this.
I'm out.
This is out. This mic drop. So we haven't missed any kills. That's the upside. And I didn't miss first blood.
How are your stats so far on First Bloods this
Well, I'm not doing any
fall?
spectating in Studio 1. It's all done by someone else.
Alright.
So I haven't missed anything. We actually haven't missed any of the First Bloods in Studio 1, I don't think.
Well, shout out to our observers then.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job, man. They've been doing a good job. But it is nice to have control of my camera back again.
Yeah.
it's gonna say it's really, really nice to actually have control again.
Anyway, so how are these lanes shaping up? Zeus is actually doing all right against the Darkseer top. He's getting some CS, and that's going all right. Mid lane, YYF versus SCCC. Pretty much a farm trade at the moment. They've both got their bottles out. It'll be interesting to see how the runes end up going, because the tri-lane versus tri-lane situation down bottom is kind of keeping a lot of heroes pinned there. So there's a little bit more room for either of these two mid heroes to go and try and grab an impact forward. And that can be kind of scary for the tri-lane down bot as well, especially for the Dire side, since they don't have any rune vision at the moment. So if the Storm Spirit disappears from the lane...
No, TT! Don't do it, TT! Sorry, I thought he was going to come over and try and contest the pull because he actually ended up staticking, pulling the side camp with his lightning, which ended up denying off the entire Dire creep wave and almost giving so much farm to the Darkseer because he had a double Iron Shell on the creep wave. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no.
It really wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be on the top lane.
Well, he almost got run down. I think 456 was considered.
Here they go again. Long DD, that Fiercer, he's on the wrong side of it now because the Telekies has dragged him back. You've got the wall up, and then with a Leshrac double stun now, that's nice. But you've still got the Juggernaut dishing out a lot of damage, and Zhou can't really get close enough. He's got Lightning back up again, so he can throw this one out to Piao, and he's dropping down very, very low. But there's 7-6, he doesn't use the charges. The visual will end up killing him off. The Venomancer's got his as well. He would have lived.
Yeah, I think he would have lived. But, oh, so Juggernaut down, ends up being another 1-for-1 down here on the bottom lane. But Leshrac is doing much better than the Juggernaut overall in terms of farm, so this aggressive tri-lane is looking somewhat questionable. And I do wonder if NewBee are going to consider breaking it up soon, perhaps, or if they're going to stick to their guns, because they could just go and take over the safe lane if they wanted to. And
I think it's worth a rotation top as well.
Yeah, put the Darkseer into the jungle or bring him down to bottom lane to put some pressure down here. He's got all the levels that he needs, so...
Yeah, they need to look towards, like, it's a little bit too late to kill off the Storm Spirit, but you can crush the Zeus. Because Zeus still has no escape mechanism, so a simple TP up to the tier 1 tower, smoke in behind it, and you can take just the Venomancer or Venomancer and Rubik, and they can solo kill the Zeus. Because he's always just so low, but they want to keep going. They want to make sure this Leshrac doesn't get any kind of momentum. So they'll find the Earthshaker instead. So a pickup, throw him back, the Venomancer Gale again. The Fidge is going to stun up nicely over on the Venomancer, disrupt the walls, going to make sure they have to stick around to fight here. Venomancer low, mostly on the Tango. He's out of range of Zhou's lightning, and Zhou completely wafts Split Earth. The Glimpse will be pulling back the Juggernaut, but Rubik, okay, the Venomancer came back in just to die. The lightning will actually connect. You've also got a very, very low Rubik. That slow helps him out. There's no glimpse, but Long Diddy's trying to get in range for the Thunder Strike. And the range is right in the edge, and that's almost a kill. The stick charges may be enough to keep the Rubik alive, and it looks like it will be the case. 32 HP, he'll survive.
Okay, so just more trades bottom, but I think the other thing to say for NewBee is that they have to give this Storm Spirit a lot of respect. YYF has a TP scroll at the moment. He's got his level 7. If they go for a kill too close to this tier 1 tower, or even just go for another kill on bottom lane at all, YYF could immediately back up into Fog, TP down, and find a triple kill. No problem whatsoever on this Storm Spirit. So I think that's the other thing that has to be in the back of NewBee Youth's minds right now when they consider or talk about whether or not they're going to stick it out down here on bottom lane.
Windranger didn't see the invis room being picked up by Zhou, but he did see the movement of Lashrak off the bottom lane. So they're feeling something's coming at them in the mid as, well, feel like something's actually clogging up the servers again.
It gets a bit stuttery.
My blade is swifter.
Are you back? Is it any better for you?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Of Kale.
The slightest bit of lag,
Middle
yeah.
tower is under attack.
I'm gonna try again.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Try again.
Pin! Pain ain't ugly. Ugly pain.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
At least 1 or 2 heroes on Old Boy.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
What's going on? The funny thing is, it actually doesn't do anything. Like, I have actually cast. With 800 ping, as well as like 35% packet loss.
And it looks looks smooth.
See, look, it just
Oh,
all
back.
of a sudden we're back. China is now like brought down their own wall. We're alive. It's alive. I don't know if the other mainstream was having the same problem or not.
Radiant's top tower.
Hopefully not.
Attack.
Yeah, hopefully not, because that would have been unwatchable. Yeah, all right. So 8-6. What's our updates? These are the graphs that Basket was talking about before.
Yeah, as they stand, it looks like a bit of an advantage overall for Old Boys. Storm Spirit is #1 on net worth. Looks like YYF has been doing really well. 3-0-0 for him at the moment, but nipping right at his heels are all 3 cores on NewBee Y at the moment, and that is definitely a cause for concern. Looks like 456 going to come cut the creep wave down bot and just start applying a little bit more pressure towards this tier 1 tower. Always important is the Darkseer to try and take the opposing safe lane tower so you can open up the jungle and start finding some additional farm there, but looks like there's going to be a TP down here, and 820 and Long DD might have something to say about the Darkseer being here. Yeah, Echo Slam gets dropped.
Wow.
That's a lot of hate.
That's a lot of commitment. That's a heavy commitment. He's still going to back him in and do a little bit of damage on the way down. But you just committed your Static Storm, your Echo Slam, and the Storm Spirit to come in. Like the only thing which was really missing from that was Thunder God's Wrath.
Yeah. YYF is getting pretty scary, so looks like a better game for him thus far than the Queen of Pain in the previous. So we'll see how he does. Again, there's still a lot to be afraid of this game. Like we were talking about, I think anyone that gets shackled, especially if the Storm Spirit gets shackled here, he's probably dead. So needs to give quite a bit of respect to the Wind Ranger. SCCC's only picked up a point booster thus far. Looks like he might be going in for the early Ags. I'm personally not a huge fan of the very first item Ags on Wind Ranger. I think point booster back into a mobility item and then completing the Ag, so either getting your Blink or getting a Force Staff is actually very important. And I think especially the Force Staff this game when you're up against heroes like Disruptor and the Earthshaker. If you can get out of the kinetic field before it fully sets up, or if you can get out over the top of a Fissure and do the same for your teammates potentially, I think that's a very big deal. And even just positioning for the Shackle as well. We've hyped that spell up a lot, and having a positioning item makes it 4 or 5 times easier to actually land a good multi-hero Shackle.
I actually kind of feel that this might almost be a little bit more for I don't want to just say for Roshan, but with the Vladimir's pickup, which you're about to get on the Juggernaut, you're going to be able to like take Roshan nice and quick. Actually, is he even going to go Vlads?
I don't think so. I think it's probably just a sort of a casual Bassi at the moment. You have to remember that they were in a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation, and your core in a tri-lane versus tri-lane is almost always going to pick up a Bassi anyway, just so that you can use that little bit of extra, mana to keep yourself fueled and keep on going. It looks like it is just going to be Mask of Madness flying out.
It's a mum. It's a mum.
It's too good on Jug. I mean, as much as it was, it was trendy and everybody was, a lot of the popular cores of Yester Patch were picking up the Mask of Madness a lot. It's such a good fit. You negate almost all of the downsides between Blade Fury and Omni Slash, and he's probably one of the best, if not the best, Mask of Madness buying hero in the game.
So everyone just gets to chill for a little bit. There's a little bit of action being prepped up here on top lane because they're looking for the kill on the Juggernaut, and they are not going to get him. The wall didn't come up in time. The Thunder God's Wrath up damage. 15 HP he will survive on. He had that Mask of Madness turned on, which is why he took so much damage, but also why he had the movement speed to escape.
Yeah, I mean, if he hadn't gotten out of the kinetic field there, he was
dead.
He was definitely 100% dead, so if he had just escapes with a tiny bit of life. I don't know if they're going to be able to take advantage of the fact that the Static Storm and the Thunder God's Wrath are down here, but often when you see the Thunder God's Wrath being wasted like that, it's an amazing opportunity to try and go for a smoke, because one of the big reasons that we've been seeing Zeus picked up so much these days is, I mean, not only because he's a good hero and does a lot of damage, but people have been making very good use of the Thunder God's Wrath just for casual scouting now and then, spotting smokes. If you think something suspicious is happening, like a Roshan or a smoke, you just pop the Thunder God's Wrath and get that information. But, Rubik just trying to grab a few more CS top lane, and 2 of the old boys are going to come roaring out of the fog and just burst him down in 2 seconds flat.
I wasn't watching that one happen, but so difficult to also for Rubik to predict that. Like, the vision's going to come out in the middle of nowhere. We are still during night time, so the vision is really restrictive. Meanwhile, NewBee, they're in there trying to take Roshan. So this is that Wind Ranger as well as Juggernaut going to go together. So they just use the Healing Ward and the Mask of Madness to do the work. She's almost level 11, and with his kill on Roshan, actually, do we look at the Aegis to go into the Juggernaut or the Wind Ranger here? It makes sense for the Jugger, but I'm wondering if you just have more confidence in him surviving than the Wind Ranger. He's got the slot for us, I'm assuming it's him. And yeah, there it is. Thunder God's Wrath was also used and it scouted out Roshan, but it's all too late.
Yeah. That was a really good play by NewBee, just taking full advantage of the fact that the Thunder God's Wrath was on a cooldown, and they knew that they were kind of safe to go for that, assuming that they snuck in at the right time, and everybody else did a good job of showing them.
They saw the Rubik walk inside the pit. Long DD's going to be careful. Pick up, throw down. He actually had a stolen fish. The Echo Save will fly, and they have to get Juggernaut out of the wall. Long DD from inside the pit with the field. That's a good reason when to put the Aegis Immortal on the Juggernaut. And, well, Vacuum from Darkseer trying to buy their space surge in. They're going to kill up that Earthshaker. But this is the fight split up, really. The Mask of Madness plus the Phase Boost. The Phase Boost is about to come off cooldown. That'll let him catch up to Zhao. And they're... no, with the creep wave there, we can't just use the Omni Slash. They'll just take the tower instead.
Yeah. 1-for-1 support trade, and the Aegis ends up being kind of a bonus pickup for Old Boys there. So I think that was pretty good. They do end up losing a tier 1 tower end of the day, but I think that was less value than NewBee were hoping to get out of that Aegis.
Darkseer attempted TP out to safety, not going to happen. Again, just getting controlled up by this disruptor. His positioning, his movement, like the rotation really here from Long DD has been wonderful. But I'm still concerned about now how big the Venomancer is getting. Because we're into the situation again where NewBee keep doing this 4-on-1. Like, you just give a lot of space to somebody else. Now, the Darkseer is taking care of the off-lane while the three move together, and then he'll join them when the kills happen around Roshan or bottom lane. But the Venomancer was just sitting on mid previously while all that Roche fight was going on, throwing down wards and slowly pushing and sieging the tier 1 tower. And with Arcane Boots, it's so easy to do this. He still needs a little bit more mana regen. The best thing for a Venomancer is actually to have something like a Yule Scepter to go with these Arcane Boots, and then you never really run out of mana. Which is really important too. When your Nova costs 200 and your Gale costs 125, you need to have a good mana pool and regeneration to keep spamming out all your Plague Wards and then still have enough when the team fight arrives.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be going for a mech here. Another option, if he finds that he needs a little bit of mana to help sustain that, is to just pick up a casual point booster for a little bit and then start building in towards the Ags potentially a little bit later on.
That's interesting because he goes for the mech, which allows the Darkseer to go for the pipe.
Yeah, they're just really preparing to, I think especially to deal with both the Zeus and the Leshrac. There's so much magical damage over on the Old Boys side that picking up both of these items is definitely a great idea. I'm normally not a huge fan of first item pipe on Darkseer, but I think this is definitely a game where you can justify it.
Yeah, 100% agree. For now, NewBee, they group up 4 players on the bot lane. The double Iron Shells have already been keeping back like the creep wave most of the time. Doesn't matter how quick they mop it up. They get a 4-man smoke. There was no Observer Wars that see this, but who are you going to try and find? Like YYF? The only way you kill him is by telekinesis and Shackle. That's how it has to work. The Shackle flight time, YYF will just ball lightning away. So they surge in, and there it is. They pick up the throw down, the Shackle connects, the Nova, he's got enough tick damage, and including the VAC extra control factor, they get the kill on the Storm Spirit, and Darkseer ends the mega kill streak. That's a lot of cash for him. That's probably that is most definitely the full pipe. He's got 2.5k gold now.
Yeah, that was really big. And NewBee
trouble mid.
Yeah.
But it actually doesn't fully lock him in, and he's got the Shadow Blade. So he's gone Invis and then into the Omni Slash, almost killing off 820, moves into the spin but cannot reach him for the last bit of damage. Luckily for Old Boys, they had Zeus to let the Thunder God's Wrath come out.
Yeah, and the Storm Spirit had a bunch of Bloodstone charges as well, so he actually popped up pretty quickly and was able to go and get to that fight mid. So YY having a really good game thus far. Joe's also managed to catch up a little bit on farm. He's got his Bloodstone completed, and yeah, things looking solid for Old Boys right now. This is actually a really close game, but experience and gold are both Old Boys favored for now. Yeah.
Yep. These moments though, Long DD, focus fire, they're going to glimpse back the Wind Ranger, but he got the pickup. The Rubik just runs in and actually throws him into the back wall. This combination, like, I really, like, the wall obviously not being of, he can stop ball lightning. Not being of NewBee's side, but still the vac control from Darkseer in both game 1 and now here in game number 2 have really been spectacular. And Zhou, shackled, focus fired. He can pulse out of this one maybe, goes for the stun, but already Piao just moves in. The Latrak commits suicide. Did he not attack him? I don't think Piao even attacked the Latrak. He was just walking next to him.
Yeah.
It's like he wanted Wind Ranger to get the last hit there, but then Latrak just suicides.
I do think the Windrunner's next item is probably a tiny bit more valuable for them on the whole than the Juggernauts.
But when you're up against a Bloodstone, you take that kill as quick as you can.
You just want to get that kill right away. So Lush Bloodstone down to 5 charges now. Storm Spirit still pretty healthy at 8. Looks like he's going for an Orchid as the next pickup. So
are you worried there's not enough control coming out from these cores? Like you go on the double Bloodstones, and this is great if you can keep up momentum. But if there's no momentum to speak of, especially if you lose that momentum now, like you've got no disable over on NewBee Y, apart from Storm Spirit with his ball lightning jump.
The Bloodstone is just too good of a farming item on these two heroes, I think. So yeah, they're still looking for a couple of items for a little bit more lockdown, maybe a Yule Scepter for your track. The Storm Spirit is now going for the Orchid and can go into the Hex a little bit later on, but the fastest way to build those 3 items for the Storm Spirit is always going to be going for the Bloodstone first.
Long DD's dead.
Yeah.
That actually he could have survived that. The Urshiga ran away from him. It's a level 2 Omni Slash, so he might have just ended up, they both could have died, but between the 3 heroes that were there, they could have shared the load. And you would have had the Yule Scepter as well if like DD started to get a little bit low.
Yeah, I think they could have maybe tanked that one. But the other concern was that if they all run in and group up, they don't know exactly who is around. And the Darkseer could all of a sudden vacuum them all 3 of them into the river. And that is a very fast way to lose all 3 heroes and then lose a tier 2 tower on top of that.
I should know how Old Boys are meant to move anywhere without actually having like Elves and sentries down. Like relying on lightning isn't enough because that Shadow Blade. Now mid shackle. Oh, we caught 2 of them. They actually lined up perfectly for him to back into the wall. YYM's going to jump in looking for the kill over the Rubik, but Rubik still had ball lightning. He can't get it off in time, so they will be killing him off. And a great ulti from Long DD, locking in NewBee Young, and that's going to be 4 heroes lost. Juggernaut the only one to survive that. Disruptor really turning that mid fight around. And the Storm Control in the end also helping.
Yeah, these have both been amazing Disruptor games. Both the last one, I think, we didn't even really talk about it that much towards the end of the last game, but that was almost the perfect Disruptor game, and this is also a damn good one. And Long DD, like you said, he's been playing it fantastically thus far. He's actually picked up a Blink Dagger now, so that's going to make initiation even easier for him, and especially, I think, just following up from the new, well, not even new, but the ultra long-range Fissure. Fissure comes out, he blinks in immediately, drops the Static Storm, drops the Kinetic Field, and anyone who is caught with the initial stun is stuck there for the full duration. So that's pretty scary if you're NewBee Y at this point. I mean, even though they've got the beginnings of a BKB on the Wind Ranger, and you can kind of tell yourself, all right, Juggernaut's got spin to potentially escape. Old Boys definitely have more than enough chain stun, especially since once that Fissure lands and the Kinetic Field Static Storm comes down, that's when Latrak just runs into the middle of everything and burns everyone down.
This is also a great position for Old Boys to be in, because if they want to try and take fights like they want to do in game number 1, their current advantage is going to weaken them to the back. There's no extra second control though, and then the Fissure catching at the Rubik as well as the Darkseer into the wall. Nice blink in to make it that perfect combo you're talking about. The spin will be able to protect the Juggernaut, so he's not going to get glimpsed all the way back. He'll be able to stay on this bot lane, but then the Yule Scepter up into the stun. Zhou hits perfectly, and that wastes the Wind Run and gets the wall up with a follow-up Fissure. Pulse Nova. This is Old Boys now. Finally, maybe they can get themselves their first victory. Glimpse him back, keep the roll going. Venomancer gets the Nova off, but this time around... Actually, did he even get the Nova off? He did, but it didn't connect on them. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, maybe he got left behind.
Dire's
maybe he pushed the button.
Well, what, so the Nova technically had its effect in this area,
Yeah, you know.
and then he gets back.
Then he got disappeared all the way back.
Dire's bottom tower
It should work like a. Well, actually, it doesn't work like a Shiva's
not
guard.
like a
It
Shiva's.
works more like a Ravage, like it goes out.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Even if it did connect, it wasn't that bad. Like it's a level 1 Nova with no Ags upgrade, so it was fine.
Yeah, but Old Boys looking good. They take full advantage of that fight after getting all of those kills. They're going to place down a bunch of wards as well. And some pretty opportune spots for the Storm Spirit to try and find additional pickoffs. YYF is playing fantastically this game. #1 on net worth. He's got his Orchid up now and another 2.2k gold. And it looks like he's just going to be picking up, I think, just a BKB as the next item. And at that point, NewBee can't really do anything about him. At least until if we get to the ultra late game stage where Juggernaut can maybe pick up an Abyssal Blade and drop that on his head, sure, they can kind of deal with the Storm
That's a
Spirit
long
that
way off
but
right
yeah,
now.
We're talking like 20 plus minutes until that can kind of happen. The other thing that we haven't talked about this game is the synergy between the Zeus and the Storm Spirit. A lot of what we've been seeing with the Zeus recently, and especially the Storm in general, picking up at least one hero that can give you good additional vision, like a Beastmaster or a Zeus, and then just using that to find freebie pickoffs on the supports. You pop the Thunder God's Wrath, you see a support off by his lonesome, Storm Spirit falls in from halfway across the map and almost just kills him instantly with the ball lightning damage, and you continue to build up your Bloodstone charges. So
I'm loving how Old Boys, they've had like maybe 3 minutes where they could potentially kill off Roshan, but they have no damage to do it.
yeah, and
Because everything is magical. Like, how much would you have wished that NewBee picked up Huskar in this game?
actually, yeah, this
would be
this
the
is a
perfect-
Huskar game.
This
yeah,
would be the perfect Huskar game.
yeah.
Now
But it would have been Huskar instead of Windrunner.
Smoke, fight, jump up, instant Orchid over on the dark side. They got the Remnant, give him the vision, and long DD! Oh, the 3 caught in the storm! And that is not what you want to be in, and it's going to be even worse. The Omni Slash will come, Storm Spirit, 1 jump down, Omni Slash gets cancelled because of that. Then they can Lundy, but he has the Mask of Madness turned on. He knows the Shadow Blade won't help him at all because you got the Bolt, which will be giving the reveal. He turns it on now, but they just wait for the spin damage to finish. At the same time, well, they isolate out the Darkseer and the Wind Ranger as well. They had the buyback, but it's a dieback from the Darkseer. That's high ground. That's actually, I think, bottom racks and potentially even game. I'm not going to say full game. It's just a lot of control for Old Boys.
Dire's bottom tower
They have bottom racks. The tier 2 tower is the only thing that's stopping this from being GG.
Yeah, and there isn't even a glyph available at the moment, so they're going to get this bottom lane very, very quickly. And unfortunately, like you said, they can't go any further because there are still tier 2s up, but melee back's going to be down soon, and Darkseer is still in the grave for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, they got no they got no Omni Slash, so they can't just take that out. Are they sticking around? I think they're hoping for kills. Rubik, potentially could have gone for something there, because Zhou was the one that left early. I think he wants more farm because he's about to finish up a full heart, unless this is meant to be a Rod of Atos, which makes no sense in this game at all.
Could be the beginning of his Octarine core as well.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah, just pick up Soul Booster in a second, and then he'll be able to go and grab his Mystic Staff before too long. Definitely an amazing item for Leshrac. And I don't know what NewBee can do. There's about to be a BKB on the Storm Spirit. Well, as I said, that's already been delivered. He's jumped the poor Juggernaut, silenced him up, and doesn't even manage to pop his spin or his BKB.
He's got 21 Bloodstone charges. There's an instant respawn now for the Storm Spirit. Even Zhou is sitting on an instant respawn with his 18 Bloodstone charges and BTs, so he comes back to fight straight away.
Yeah.
Like Old Boys with the Aegis Immortal, they can just group up as 5 and go in through mid or top, and they will take a Rax. There's nothing that NewBee can do to stop them, because they're basically fighting up against 7 heroes. That's the crutch of the situation. And for a team with only really magical damage, they're actually going to kill Roshan.
Yeah. I feel like NewBee made YYF mad last game, or maybe YYF was mad at his own play potentially. Things just not going well, and some of the decision making on the Queen of Pain. I think there were definitely a couple of deaths that you could call silly, and now he's just flipping out and and killing everyone. He's going to spot the Venomancer, gets glimpsed back.
He thought he was out. I honestly thought he was out. The TP completed, so he got back to base for a split second just to say goodbye to his parents.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, we were talking about Thunder God's Wrath plus Storm Spirit, but Thunder God's Wrath plus Disruptor Glimpse is pretty legit as well.
This is... How do you stop the creep wave? You get vision of a Plague Ward in the trees where the melee creeps can't attack it. That's... I gotta try that, actually. That's awesome.
Creeps are pretty dumb, as it turns out.
Oh, this is the first time I've seen this item being purchased up in the Chinese qualifier. Second level BTs. Zhou is now going to be on the back of the Storm Spirit.
That's great.
That's the scariest thing.
That's amazing.
He could just TP onto the back of the Ball Lightning Storm Spirit.
Yeah. And he's got 19 Bloodstone charges, so if he dies, he can just instantly boost of travel to anyone.
Yep.
And be right back in the middle of the fight. And he's still got the soul boost to complete it. He is filthy rich right now.
Yep. In comes Juggernaut. Dust. Wow, they actually felt him coming. And they jump in, and this is what we're talking about. He actually only did a point-blank range TP, but wanted to go into the Edict and the Pulse Nova. The BKB protects the Juggernaut, while YYF handles the rest of the team. Omni Slash is down, and now they'll make their way in. BKB wears off now, so Piao, he will instantly die after. Now he's susceptible to the magic. The Shackle will latch on the Storm Spirit, but remember, he's still got the Aegis Immortal. Long DD, another jump in with his Disruptor. Just wants to ensure the kill on the Wind Range. It's a nice Nova from the Venomancer. Earthshake will end up dying to all of this. Not to mention the Storm Spirit's pretty low. He may as well just keep jumping in. The buyback will be from the Wind Ranger, but the casualties are just too high on the NewBee Y side. They've lost 4 heroes. They keep buying him back, but it's GG is the call. Storm will go YOLO into the base, hunt for the kills, and be glorious in victory. They take their first game of the TI5 qualifiers. Old boys showing they've still got what it takes even with arthritis.
Yeah. Still got some moxie, you know. Still know how to, still know how to win a game at the very least.
Yes.
I mean, like we said, they're not going any further.
Yeah,
they're not going any further, unfortunately, just because of current standards.